Hello dear students of class 10th, welcome to geography class. I hope all of you are fit and healthy. Students, in this video, I shall be continuing with the 6th chapter from your geography book, that is manufacturing industries. Students, in the previous video, I explained you the first mineral based industry, that is iron and steel industry. I told you that iron and steel industry is a key or basic industry. Why? Because it provides base for the other industries. The other industries are highly dependent on iron and steel industry because iron and steel is needed for other industries. It is a basic raw material that is needed for the other industries to process, for the other industries to manufacture their goods. So, I hope iron and steel industry is clear to everybody. Now, students, in this video, I shall be moving to the next mineral based industry, that is aluminium smelting industry. Now, what is the meaning of smelting? Many of you get confused between smelting and melting. You feel that smelting and melting are the same. It is not so. Smelting is a process by which aluminium is extracted from its ore. That the process of extraction of aluminium from its ore is called as smelting. Students, I hope you remember the last chapter. In the last chapter, I explained you in detailed form regarding aluminium. I hope you remember the ore of aluminium. Let me remind you that bauxite is the ore of aluminium. From bauxite, alumina is extracted, and from alumina, aluminium is further processed, and this way we get aluminium. So, I hope the extraction process of aluminium is clear to everybody. That means what is done in aluminium smelting industry. The bauxite is processed, from that bauxite alumina is processed, and from that alumina, aluminium is further formed. Okay. Now, students, let me tell you that aluminium smelting industry is the second most important metallurgical industry in India. Why it is the second most important? Because the most important is iron and steel industry. See, iron and steel industry is needed in almost every industry. That is why it is the most important, and after iron and aluminium, and after iron and steel industry comes the aluminium smelting industry. Alright. Now, students, I already told you that where do we get iron from? Cut this line. Now, students, I already told you that from where we get aluminium, and I also told you that this industry, aluminium smelting industry, is the second most important metallurgical industry. Now, what is the reason? Why is it so important? Students, it is so important because of its characteristics, because of its qualities. Aluminium possesses several qualities, and because of which this industry is the second most important metallurgical industry. Now, what are the qualities of aluminium, or what are the characteristics of aluminium? See, points are already mentioned here. The first thing, light in weight. The weight of aluminium is very light, because of which this metal is favored. People prefer this over other metals. So, this is the first characteristic, that is light in weight. Second is resistance to corrosion. This metal, this aluminium, does not get corroded, as a result of which this metal is preferred. Third is durable. It is long lasting, it is very much durable, because of which it is preferred. The next point is good conductor of heat and electricity. You must have seen aluminium pans and aluminium vessels in your kitchen. Why? Because it is a very good conductor of heat and electricity. So, this is also a very important point, very important characteristic of aluminium. Then the next point is malleable. Malleable means it can be converted into sheets, very thin sheets. This point I already explained you in the previous chapter also, that aluminium is malleable. That means it can be converted into very thin sheets. How it can be converted? By hammering. By pressing, it can be converted into sheets. Not by hand, it cannot be pressed by hand, but with the help of machines. Alright. So, these are the qualities of aluminium because of which it is preferred, because of which it is the second most important industry in our country. Now, students, there is one more point in the characteristics. You know, this metal, this is very strong, and you know, when it is mixed with some other metal, it becomes more strong. As I told you that this metal is durable. Why it is durable? Why it does not breaks easily? Because it is very strong. The components that are there in this, the raw materials that are used in this, they are very strong, because of which this metal is very strong and durable, and when it is mixed with other metals, it becomes more strong. So, I hope the characteristics of this metal is clear to everybody. Now, students, you know, there are 8 major aluminium smelting industries in our country. I will be telling you the locations where the major aluminium smelting industries are located in our country. So, the first one is, as you can see the map, this is the map of India. So, the first one is in Odisha. You know, Odisha is the largest aluminium producing state. Why? Because of its proximity to aluminium, because of its proximity to bauxite. In Odisha, there are 2 major plants. The first one is Nalco and the second one is Balco. Very interesting names. So, you need to remember the full forms also. The full form of Nalco is National Aluminium Company Limited, and the full form of Balco is Bharat Aluminium Company Limited. So, you need to remember that 2 power plants are there in Odisha. Then after Odisha, we have aluminium smelting industry in West Bengal, Kerala, Uttar Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu. So, these are the states that have aluminium smelting industries. And please remember that Odisha is the oldest and it has the maximum concentration of bauxite, because of which you will find majority of aluminium smelting industries in Odisha, because that place has the climatic conditions are favorable, because of which this ore is found in Odisha. Alright. Now, students, you know, what are the factors that are important for the aluminium smelting industries to perform well? What are the factors or what are the dimensions? See, there are basically 2 dimensions for this industry to perform well. 2 factors are required for this industry to grow well. The first factor is assured source of raw material. See, if raw material will be present, then only an industry can develop, then only an industry can grow. Without the availability of raw materials, it is not possible for any industry to prosper, any industry to develop. So, raw materials is the first factor, availability of raw material, and that also at affordable price. That means, how the price will be affordable? When transportation cost will be low or it will be almost negligible. And since Odisha, the climatic condition and everything is favorable for the availability of bauxite, so most of the industries, most of the aluminium smelting industries are located in Odisha, because the industries are very near to the area having bauxite, that is the ore of aluminium. So, this is the first dimension that is required, the first factor that is required for this industry to grow well. And the second dimension is regular supply of power or regular supply of electricity. See, without power, without energy, it is not possible for any industry to prosper. Electricity is needed when it comes to machines, when it comes to tools and equipments, because this process of conversion of bauxite into aluminum cannot be done via hands. It's not possible, literally not possible. So we need machines, and machines can only be operated with the help of electricity. So regular supply of electricity is a very important criterion for development of this industry. It should be regular, it should be continuous, erratic supply should not be there. So these are the two dimensions or factors for aluminium smelting industries to perform well. So I hope this industry is clear to everybody. Now students, let's come to the next industry, that is chemical industry. This is another mineral based industry. Okay, chemical industry. Students, chemical industry can be called as both small as well as large scale manufacturing industry. Now what do you understand by small or large scale manufacturing industry? Students, I hope the classification you remember. You remember the classification. I explained you classification of classification of, I'm saying again. Students, I hope you remember the classification. I explained you classification of industries on the basis of capital invested. There are two categories of on the basis of capital invested. First is small scale industry and the second one is large scale industry. The industry in which the capital invested is less than 1 crore refers to small scale industry, and the industry in which the capital invested is 1 crore or more than that refers to large scale industry. So when it comes to chemical industry can be referred to as both small scale as well as large scale industry. Alright. Now students, let me tell you that this industry is divided into two parts. First is inorganic chemical industry and the second one is organic chemical industry. Now what is the difference between the two? Let's talk about inorganic chemical industry. Students, in inorganic chemical industry, sulfuric acid, nitric acid and soda ash is used. Why they are used? They are used to manufacture fertilizers, plastics, synthetic fibers, adhesive, paints, dyes. These are so sulfuric acid and nitric acid are used to manufacture these products. But when it comes to organic chemical industry, in this petrochemicals are used. Why they are used? They are used to manufacture synthetic fibers, rubber, plastic, dye stuffs and pharmaceuticals. So this is the difference between two, that in inorganic this product is used, that means sulfuric acid, nitric acid and soda ash is used, whereas in organic chemical industry petrochemicals are used. So this is the difference between the two. Alright. Now students, you know, chemical industry is its own largest consumer. Why this industry is its own largest consumer? You know why? Because they undergo processing to I'm saying again. Processing to produce. I'm saying this line again. Students, you know, this chemical industry, this industry is its own largest consumer. Why is this industry its own largest consumer? Because you know they undergo processing further to produce other chemicals. For example, suppose I have a chemical company and I have produced one chemical. After producing one chemical, for example, I have produced nitric acid. So that nitric acid will be used in order to process other chemicals. That one chemical, one finished good that is produced in an industry, in a chemical industry, that finished good can be used as raw material in order to produce other chemicals. So that is why it is its own largest consumer, because it consumes the product that is processed by that industry itself. So I hope that chemical industry is clear to everybody. Now students, let's move to the next mineral based industry, that is fertilizer industry. Now let me tell you that chemical industry and fertilizer industry, they are related to each other. They are linked with each other. I'll explain you how they are linked. First of all, when it comes to fertilizer industry, then agriculture sector, it provides market for this industry. Because who will use the fertilizers? Will the human beings consume? Can we eat or can we consume those fertilizers? No, that's not possible. We cannot do that. Fertilizers are meant for agriculture purposes. They are used in agriculture, like pesticides, chemicals, fertilizers, manure, several things are used, and they are basically used in the field of agriculture. That means agro based. So the agriculture sector provides huge market for fertilizer industry. And most of the fertilizer industries, they are centered around the production of nitrogenic fertilizers, that is urea, phosphatic fertilizers and ammonium phosphate, that is DAP. These things, they act as raw materials for the fertilizer industry. Students, I just now told you that chemical industry and fertilizer industry are related to each other. They are linked with each other. How? See, because chemicals are required in order to make fertilizers. So that is why they are related or they are linked with each other, because without the use of chemicals, fertilizers cannot be made. So chemicals, they act as raw materials in order to manufacture, in order to process the fertilizers. Students, potash. Potash is also very important for this fertilizer industry. But unfortunately, we do not have sufficient potash in our country, and because of which potash is imported from South American countries. Since we do not have sufficient potash, and so potash is required in this industry, not only in this industry but also in chemical industry. So in order to fulfill our needs, in order to fulfill our demands, our requirements, potash is imported from the South American countries. And students, we are the third largest producer of nitrogenous fertilizer, and this nitrogenous fertilizer, this is used in soil. Okay? And the fertilizer industry has increased in our country after Green Revolution. Now why? What is the relation of Green Revolution and fertilizer industry? I hope you remember Green Revolution. You have also studied in economics. Green Revolution was a revolution by the government in order to increase the production of food grains. How? By using modern technology, by using efficient technology, by using HYV seeds, high yield variety of seeds, by using modern ways of irrigation, canals, tube wells, by using tractors, by using fertilizers, pesticides, chemicals. So in order to increase the production of food grains, fertilizers were needed. And before that, before this revolution, before this Green Revolution, this fertilizer industry was not so popular or it was not widely spread in our country. But after this revolution, this Green Revolution, I would say, gave life to the fertilizer industry, because after this revolution only the fertilizer industry developed at a rapid scale. And now we are using fertilizers. Definitely we need fertilizers in order to grow more, in order to produce more. So I hope you understood this point. Now let me tell you the areas where fertilizer industry is there in our country. So there are several states where fertilizer industries are located. So the prominent ones are Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, Uttar Pradesh and Kerala. So students, you need to remember the places because it will be important to cut this line. So students, it is very important to remember the locations because map work will come in your examination. So you have to mark those places. Question may come regarding mark 2 places where students, it is very important to remember the locations because in your examinations question may come from the map work, like mark 2 places of fertilizer industry where fertilizer industry is found, or chemical industry, or any other industry. So you need to remember the places. All right. So I hope fertilizer industry is clear to everybody. Students, in the next video I shall be explaining you the next mineral based industry, that is cement industry. Till then, thank you so much. I hope the concepts that I explained you in this video are clear to everybody. I'll see you in the next video with cement industry. Thank you so much. Stay safe and do take very good care of yourselves. Thank you.